Hey, this is Jim McDonald. Welcome to episode 187 of the PowerCast. This episode features our conversation with Tom Kallas. Tom Kallas competes as a 181 and 198 in the Raw with Wraps division. He was just coming off the Reebok Record Breakers meet, not having the kind of day that he intended to have, but he agreed to come and talk to us anyway. Sounds like he's going to be doing some programming work with Silent Mike. By this point in time, probably has already been doing some. So we'll see what his next couple competitions look like in terms of numbers. He's definitely a very strong kid, and his squat is his bread and butter. He just hasn't put onto the competition platform what he's been able to do in the gym in terms of squats. Anyway, his birthday this week, which was as good a reason as any to release this episode this week. If you would like, you reach out to Tom on social media and tell him happy birthday on Saturday. Tom appears occasionally in the videos of another Tom Finn. They are somewhat controversial in the powerlifting world in that it's like basically Jackass for powerlifting. It's stunts that some people love and some people hate, and you know what? You can feel however you want to about them. I think they're pretty funny, and they actually do gather a lot of attention. Please like and share this episode and enjoy number 187. Next week we'll be back with Steve Gentili and T. Papula, I think that's the one I'm going to go with. That's what it's going to be. See you next week. Support for this episode of the PowerCast comes from HowMuchYouBench.net, home of Mark Bell's Slingshot. Bench heavy with no pain with Mark Bell's Slingshot. Apparel for strong people at 8manstrong.com and bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com is the world's largest fitness website and supplement store. Bodybuilding.com has free fitness plans for every level. Visit bodybuilding.com today to become your best self. Happy to welcome back Compex USA as a sponsor. Go to CompexUSA.com and check out all the great muscle stim products there. We have all used them. They are the best we've ever used. Use the code POWERCAST at checkout to get 28% off of everything but the lowest price model. CompexUSA.com.
No.
Go Cubs.
Yeah, they missed that conversation.
Super fan. You do look really short.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
We'll be
short.
down here.
I'm Midwest average.
You look small too.
No, I don't. I'm massive.
Sacramento,
Right?
California.
Hold on,
This is Mark Bell's PowerCast. Alongside Silent Mike
tanner than
and
you.
Jim McD.
Definitely
Here's
tanner.
your host, Mark Bell.
I guess this Tom Finn character we had in town.
Who?
Tom Huck Finn. I don't know what the hell that means.
Tom,
but
I never heard of
Tom
him.
Finn Jr.
he goes back, comes out to
He's
California.
doing a seminar, by the way.
Yeah, living the dream. And then he goes back to the Midwest, which is 20 years behind.
10.
And he goes to Kallas here and comes up with all these ideas of, hey, we need to start a podcast. Like Tom and Tom in the morning or something, huh?
Yeah, he wants me to drive like 2 hours to his house once a week so I can do a podcast in his bar in his basement.
I like just call it the Padcast.
Yeah. Why does the Midwest everyone have bar in their basements?
Well, where else would you
Wait,
put
a
it?
barbell?
No, bar. Like you mean like an alcoholic bar,
An
right?
actual bar.
Yeah. No. One, we don't have basements. Two,
There's not
we
basements?
No.
Two, we wouldn't have
This is
bars
weird.
there.
I don't know.
But my
Everybody-
family in Ohio has that too. I
Yeah.
think it's like just like you guys are already alcoholics. Why promote
can-
your own
I don't
things at
think.
home?
I don't think we're alcoholics.
I can picture the way that it looks too in my head, and it's like depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
like
it's fun.
It's got a
No.
depressing feel to it. There's a pool table.
Yeah, my family's was cool because like it was
He's
like
like,
a
"There's a pool table."
it was like an old wooden bar, and so like I don't know, there's a bunch of cousins and whatever, so we all engraved our name on it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny because he can't make shit for himself, so his wife actually made the entire bar herself. So it's called like Karen's Corner or something.
He's
But
always
there's, like, a
taking
huge
pictures in front of
projector.
it.
Yeah, he does. He cuts all his
And
promos
there's
there.
a picture. There's a picture of him behind as he's talking, right? There's a picture of himself.
Yeah.
And then his trophies and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
And then there's a huge cardboard cutout of himself.
My
He
God.
really likes himself.
How does he live with himself that she can do all this shit and he can't? Is my
I think
question.
she just married him because of his looks.
Was that it?
Just a big guy.
Handsome
Not
and
much
he's
for
jacked.
brains.
So you're saying that she can't see all that clearly?
Yeah,
what's
she's
going on
definitely the
there?
brains.
Tom
He's the
Kallas.
brawn.
How long you been lifting weights, little guy?
I think I started when I was probably 13.
And
so
now you are 16 with a beard.
23.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When did your relationship with Tom Finn start?
When I was 15. I got two older
Did he
brothers.
force you to have an abortion, or is that just hearsay?
Yeah, was that your choice?
I plead the fifth. No, my older brother, Thurston, he used to lift with him at a local gym. And he's like, hey, Tom, I got a brother named Tom. And you guys will probably be pretty good buddies. And I started lifting with him when I was 15.
How was
You started lifting when you were 15?
Yeah.
How old was Finn then?
He's probably 24.
Dude,
That's
explains
great.
so much why you're
25?
fucked
Yeah.
up, buddy.
What?
So impressionable.
Explains why you're fucked up.
Yeah, that was my hero for a while. So I started I'm like,
He
well,
must have been, like, honestly, right?
Yeah,
like,
he probably
must have been
was.
like, this
'cause,
guy's a fucking
I
badass.
just started working out, getting into it, and I see this big guy, because he's always been pretty
benching
big.
500 pounds
Yeah,
or
he's
whatever.
benching 500
probably,
pounds.
yeah.
He's being a nut. He's always drinking beer. I'm like, I'm gonna be like this guy. So I started drinking beer like him. He goes, oh yeah, I used to love drinking and driving around. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll start doing that. So I started drinking. I was drinking and driving, thought I was invincible. So I was 16, and then a year after hanging out with him, I got my first DUI. I'm like, what the fuck, Finn? He goes, I never told you to do any
Matt
of that.
Vincent told me a great story about his dad, and he was saying how his dad would drink and he would just take his beer and just throw it in the back of their pickup truck, and there would be tons of beers back there, tons of cans of beers, and him and his brother used to have to always clean out the truck, and there would be 20 of them, 30 of them, it'd be a bunch of them over the course of a few weeks or whatever, and they're listening to the radio and they're talking about drinking and driving, and Matt looks at his dad and he's like, Dad, they're not talking about like what you're doing, right? And he thought his dad was going to be like, no, son, it's totally different. He's like, no, son, they are. They're talking about exactly what I'm doing. And he just looked forward and was like, okay, that's the way it is.
You can call it road soda all you want to, but it's still alcohol. It's awesome.
Great that he was so upfront with him. It's awesome.
Great.
So you've been lifting weights since 15. Is that because you sucked at all sports?
It stunted your growth.
Yeah, you look
That's
tiny.
true.
You got no muscle, no coordination.
Well, one, I'm massive, but nobody knows this. I am actually super jacked.
What's this first place thing about?
Why is your face
you
the color of
win?
your hat right now?
This is USBPL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite federation. I started lifting when I was 13 in my basement. So my dad, we didn't really play video games or do much when we were kids.
Yeah.
We lived in the middle of nowhere. So he said, you're either going to chop wood all the time, which we all just chopped wood in the summers and listen to David Allen Coe. And then at nighttime, you're going to work out. You need to work out 3-4 times a week for an hour.
Was your dad jacked?
He wasn't jacked, but he's always he's always a pretty strong guy.
He lifted.
Yeah, he lifted.
That's
Did
cool.
he show you how to lift?
Little bit. He kind of showed my brothers, and I had 2 older brothers, so they kind
Yeah.
of took me underneath their wing.
That's cool.
And then they showed me how to lift, and then met Finn, and then my life went downhill from there.
And
Life's
now you're
been-
here.
And now I'm here. So,
Life's been a living hell ever since.
yeah, a real pain in my ass.
So let's talk about squats a little bit.
Okay.
You're pretty good at squats.
Yeah, that's kind of my niche.
What's your best
But you're
squat?
really a bencher.
More of a tricep kickback kind of guy.
Oh.
Best squat, I've squatted 805 4 times in the gym. So
Gym lifter.
Yeah, I'm a better Instagram lifter, honestly.
So are we.
And then at the cage this year, I just missed 825. I had it from an inch from lockout, and my shoulder. I was having shoulder problems because I have a real tight pec, so everything pulls in.
Yeah.
And then at the top of the lift, it just fucking gave out completely, and I just dropped the weight.
It's
Just
always
killed
best.
5 guys on the way down.
Almost did. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you just did is it was kind of wrong because you kind of blamed yourself for missing the lift. You should blame the equipment.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
blame the
that's right.
spotters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Misload.
Yeah, misload.
It was probably a misload. I didn't
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
The environment. It
The
was hot.
chalk. The chalk was
Yeah.
probably silky
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah, I didn't have a big meal that morning.
Shit.
It's
Rap.
never your fault.
Who rapped you? They sucked.
John
So many-
Tracy.
You got
Hey,
food
you
poisoning.
Take it back.
So many distractions in the cage too. It's just like
See?
Yeah.
it's like
See,
being on
Jim
the
knows.
it's
Jim's
like
got
being on the
Yeah.
safe
Jim,
side
you know.
of
Jim
the
knows.
fence, and you're in The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
That's what it's like.
That's what I was thinking too. I never seen that show.
What's the best squat to meet?
716.
Where do you think that discrepancy lies, little buddy?
What discrepancy?
Why is
He
there?
doesn't know what that word means.
That word
What's the
hasn't made it to the
discrepancy?
Midwest yet.
Why have you crushed 804?
Don't you call me that.
And only 720.
I think it had to do honestly a lot with weight cutting because whenever I'm in the gym, I'm the strongest. I was telling you, earlier, I'm
Yeah.
the strongest at 195, 200.
But you and Smokey are stuck at being 165ers and 181ers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I always try to cut to try to take a world record, and I've missed. I just tried 181 world record again, and I missed it again. So I'm like, maybe I didn't do that big of a cut this time either. But I'm like, maybe my body just says, hey.
Even though you're you look like you're 35, you have the brain of a 15-year-old, and now you're going to be a 198er.
I might.
Just do it.
We'll see.
All right, do
now
it.
You're my coach.
Yeah.
What's the 198 record?
It's 8:10.
So we're gonna go in our first meet, you and I.
We are
as a duo, and you're gonna crush 760 as a 198er.
As an opener.
No, as a third.
A third.
You're not just gonna roll up, wake up, drink a fucking Miller Lite, and all of a sudden squat 810 at 198. We gotta take baby steps.
Silent Mike plays a long game.
Let's go squat 750, 760. That's your
patient.
first meet at 198. You're 20-3, bro.
I'm running out of time.
I'm done coaching anyone under 25. You and Dan can lift together, see what fucking happens. Just give it 3 meets, and then we'll chase down that 800. That's a year and a half.
He was going to go 760, then 790.
And then we'll go for 804, 815.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
And we're going to make him fucking beautiful.
He already wants out of this programming. He hasn't even started yet.
10 minutes
Once you
ago,
get the first workout with 10 sets, he's going to be like, fuck this. I'm doing one heavy set.
10 minutes ago back there, I was like, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll do anything you say, anything. And then I was like, we're going to do more than just singles. He's like, we'll talk about it.
Find a happy medium.
8 sets of 3. What's this bullshit?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, I got to bench press more than once a month? Fuck that noise.
No, I think it'll be good. I was telling you earlier. I think I've been training like 100% so fucking hard. All I do in the gym is, I'll do like some triples up to the meet, doubles, and then a lot of singles. This time I want to kind of take it into like 2 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3 towards a meet. And like, I'm not really too sure what my single is.
Yeah.
And for the first time, be okay with that.
Yeah.
I
think emotionally sometimes that's better too. Like you mentioned Dan. Like Dan just had a great meet. Dan squatted 700 for 5 in the gym. And in his head, he can squat 900. But realistically, he only touched 700, and then he crushes 88 and perfectly.
Yeah.
I think that's way cooler for you to experience as a lifter and for the crowd. Because the crowd will talk shit like, put some weight on the bar, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh, he didn't push himself. Like, fuck you. That's a 35-pound PR in 6 months.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah,
and it's perfect.
That's what made me think, like, man, maybe I should talk to Silent Mike a little bit. I go, Dan squatted 700 for 5.
Dan's my best example. I took a piece of lard and almost made him squat 800.
Lardo.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And he could have squatted 800 that day.
Potentially.
I think he was very close, at least.
And his off season isn't the best. I love Dan, and he knows it. And I tell him this to his face, too, that he isn't as committed during the off season as during his prep, which a lot of people are, but he's very uncommitted in his off season. And you work pretty hard, little buddy.
Yeah, I train my ass off, and it's tough with my work schedule to get training, and sometimes it's not really set.
What do you do for work? I've seen some selfies. You're out in the middle of nowhere with a cigar in your mouth. What kind of job allows you to smoke?
I do work on power lines in the Midwest or in Illinois, Northern Illinois.
So what do you do?
I work on power lines. I maintain the power lines. I fix them. I put in switches and shit like that.
You just
so like
thousands of voltage going through your hands.
Yeah, I work up to 12,000 volts.
What does that mean? Does that kill you?
Yeah, absolutely. We average 2 deaths. No, a death every 2 years.
Yeah,
in the job.
How did you learn how to mess with that stuff?
My dad was in that same field, and then started with the company when I was 18. And then you go through like apprenticeship and training. So it's not like you just willy nilly. You're just up there. Usually up there with someone that's pretty experienced. So it looks scary as shit to the outside eye, but it's actually really safe if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So you're good. You haven't killed yourself yet.
No, not yet.
How do people die? What do they do?
Where
do they mess up?
You can fall. You have to sometimes the sticks or poles are 80 feet tall. You fuck around, you do something wrong, you could fall, and you're not going to live at 80 feet. Just making stupid mistakes. Sometimes you think something's dead and it's hot. You open it up and it blows up in your face. A lot of times you have an exit wounds from your hand. Goes through your heart, goes out your other hand. Sometimes you die. Sometimes you live. You got guys in burn units all the time. It's just it's dangerous. But if you keep your head on straight,
you ever hurt
paying
yourself?
attention.
No,
Luckily.
I've never been hurt. I got a good crew leader.
That's cool.
A lot of guys with 25 years of experience.
Yeah.
They watch over you, so it's kind of hard to fuck up. You
It's
really
a matter
gotta
of
be
taking your
stupid.
time.
Yeah,
not rushing.
There's no rush in the job. There's no like hurry up and let's get this done. If we're going to be there for 16 hours doing one job, it is what it is because you're going to go home at the end of the
Are
day.
you work for a private company or is it through the state or anything like that?
It's it's a pretty big company.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention it, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty big company because we supply the power to Chicago.
Okay. So I just didn't know if like Chicago pays for that shit or some private.
I think it's investor
mafia.
owned.
Okay.
It's investor owned, but
Cool.
it's
But maybe
it's a
Chicago
huge
like pays your
utility.
company or something.
Very, very big utility.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got a question. How do you regulate your training being a lineman? I climb a lot of poles for a telephone company and find my work suffers anytime I really try to get
I
competitive
work
with
the
my
poles
lifting.
as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you find higher
Heard
reps,
that.
lighter weight work better? Obviously, you haven't been doing that. Or higher weights and lower reps.
Yeah, I just told him, I was like, we'll squat 500 a lot. He's like, that sounds so light, so easy.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of a pain in the ass to fucking regulate because that's why I usually don't compete in the summers because summers is when you have storms.
Right.
So I could show up to work at the beginning of the day and they're like, all right, you're on 16 hours until we say you're not. And
Right.
there's
Wait,
no, like,
summer's harder for you to work?
Yeah, because that's when we get like the thunderstorms or tornado
Oh,
watches
just
and
'cause of
stuff
Chicago.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's just
got you.
that's the area and that's the environment. So usually they always say you make your money in the summer.
Got
And that's
you.
when you're usually the busiest. So you kind of got to see that and be like, okay, for these 3 months, probably not a good time to meet prep. Probably not a good time to do the meets. So I usually choose fall or spring meets. But then still like a month or two ago, they're like, all right, we're on 40-hour work weeks. I'm like, fucking sweet. I got plenty of time to train. Awesome. And then
Right.
the next week, it's like, all right, now you're on 72-hour work weeks.
Dang.
It's like, fuck. But, if you want something enough, you're going to find a way around it to
Right.
train, either if it's early in the morning or, you got 3 days to train. You're going to squat, you're going to bench, you're going to deadlift.
Yeah,
and you'll figure it out.
how many days a week, optimally, if you could, would you train?
I think 5 to 6 is good. Even in prep, out of prep, doesn't matter. I'm a huge proponent of accessories and training the smaller muscles a lot more frequently because I think they can recover better.
That's why you have huge biceps.
That's why my biceps are massive, dude. Massive.
Huge.
So, but like, I think it's almost easier to train powerlifting because in the training that I've done, I'm only squatting heavy twice a month. So it's like you only need to find 2 days a month to squat heavy and 2 days a month to pull heavy. And then bench, comes as
You squat heavy every other week?
usually, yeah. And meet prep every other week. I usually do a percentage-based program, and then every other week I squat heavy. That's why I've done it for 3-4 years.
Since
so,
the Tom Finn days.
since the Tom Finn days, yeah.
A lot of that stuff comes from the Lilla Bridges?
Yeah, that's basically seniors programming for me.
Right.
And I've always done basically what he said. And it's worked up to a certain point.
You
but
go on the in between week. Are you using 60% or you're not squatting at all?
I'll squat, but it's usually so when I'm not squatting heavy, I'm pulling heavy. So after
Right.
my pulls, I'd usually do pause squats for
Lighter.
Yeah, lighter. So like I was telling you, I would do like 365, 400 maybe. So you're thinking maybe even less than 50% sometimes, and just focus on form, speed, how to drive your shoulders up perfectly.
Look at that neck vein.
Yeah,
I know.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
Right?
All of them.
Super lean neck.
Gross.
Yeah, another question was, why is your head bleeding? In this?
I gave the bar a little love tap before I squatted. Sometimes I usually like, a lot of people like to get hit around a lot when they lift.
yeah.
I usually am like, just leave me alone. Like, I'll just go squat.
I'll
it.
hit
It's
myself.
fine. Yeah,
I'll hit
if
myself.
I'm if somebody's gonna hit me, it's gonna be me.
So you're a masochist?
I don't know.
You hurt yourself? I don't know.
Is that what
Like
the
a
word
little bit of
means?
pain.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hey now.
Every once in a while, I just gave it a little love tap, and then it started squirting blood like right down my face, which was it looked cool. It didn't
You're a
perform that
squirter.
well, but it looked cool.
You look great in that singlet. Anyone ever tell you that?
I got one on right now.
Yeah, I know. Why is that? Why did you come to our podcast with knee sleeves and a singlet on?
In case I need to squat.
He likes to feel warm.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do. If I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to have tights on. I'm going to have the sleeves on. I'm going to have elbow sleeves on. I'm going to have my singlet on. I like to be extremely warm
In the car.
in the car. I'll be walking around my house
It's
stretching.
a little different in Chicago than California.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the summer.
It's humid as fuck.
Yeah, it
right?
stays
I
humid.
mean,
But my whole thing is I like to be as warm as I possibly can. So I'll be in my outfit, whatever you want to call it, for a half hour, an hour before I even squat.
really?
Yeah, it's
when-
just something I'm used to.
When was your first powerlifting meet? And do you remember some of your numbers? Like what age?
Let's see. I was 18. It was in Plano, Illinois. I weighed in at 150, and I think I opened up at 468, and that's all I got.
And a squat.
It was on the squat.
Yeah.
I think I benched like 260, and I pulled 501.
Not too
So-
bad. Sounds like Little Smoky's numbers.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. So that was the first meet, and then after that, I'm like, maybe I'm pretty good at this. Maybe I should stick with it for a while. And
You
now look at
did
me.
set the all-time record in the squat at one point, right?
Yeah, I broke it twice. I think it was 3 years ago. I broke the 165 world record wrapped, squatted 677, and then I decided I wanted to up it a little bit. So I think it was May of 2015.
Is that out here?
No, this is back at home. That one was in Illinois. This other meet was in Wisconsin, and I squatted 710 at 165. And after that, I said I was done cutting. that big of a cut.
And in the
I
165 weight class, what's the record now? Do you know?
I think the guy just did a pound over, like a jabroni.
Oh, okay. He did
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Chipped it.
Yeah, but I'm like, all right, that's fine. He set the
Have
bar
it,
even higher.
yeah.
Fuck it. Whatever. Have it. I'm always tempted to about going back down, but I just.
But being as hung as you are, it's probably hard to get down to that weight.
Hey, I'm super average, right?
It's probably hard to get down to
Low average
65.
height, that's for sure.
Huh?
What?
I'm average from the West.
Hey, how about them Cubbies, huh?
Yeah, the Cubs. They won the World Series. I've heard it about 1,000 times, man.
You don't like any traditional sports? You ever play any of that growing up?
All I did was I played baseball for a long time, and then I played soccer throughout high school. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, team sports is cool, but I kind of found my niche, and I just kind of stuck with that.
Yeah. You're not good at working with people.
Real pain in the ass to work with. So.
Not easy to take direction, huh?
No, I kind of do my own thing.
Training with the Lillibridges, they at one point, they had, Eric's still crushing world records all the time. Ernie Jr. was crushing world records left and right. And then you had Derek Kendall was smashing on some stuff.
Tom Finn, even at the time.
Tom Finn, and then it also seemed like you guys would get like visitors here and there that were also of high caliber. And then yourself, you started to kind of emerge onto the scene.
Yeah.
What was that like training in that environment?
It was probably 3 years ago when we had all of us in there, and it was nice, man. It was. We were training a kind of a.
Did it make you kind of nervous, like because the intensity was like it's like when I watched those videos, like Eric would squat until he fucking passed out, like legitimately.
Yeah.
He would hit the ground, and then people would just keep loading plates, like it was like okay, yeah, you passed out.
Yeah, no.
Somebody'd pick him up maybe or help him, but
It was like the best environment you could ask for. I mean, because now I kind of train me and my buddy John Jursic would train together in commercial gyms. Sometimes I go to like a Zen Barbell. A couple guys invited me out there. But like that environment, it was a small niche group. There was like 8 of us, and we'd squat together on Saturdays. And you'd have like the music cranked loud. Derek Kendall was a fucking madman, dude. Like just a complete lunatic.
He's your homie, right?
Yeah, me and him we're pretty tight, He moved to New York, so we don't talk as often as we used to.
Oh, he moved. Okay.
Yeah, he moved to New York with his wife.
I didn't know that.
But that environment, like it's not too intimidating to me because
What he front squat 865 or something?
yeah, I think it was like right about
That's
865. Then he
insane.
hurt something, and then he fell off the map.
Yeah.
He just
I'm sorry, you said it was not intimidated for you.
No,
because
because you'd see it every week, every
Yeah,
other
you
week,
got
whatever
used
you want
to
to call it. You kind of
It
get
was
used to
normal.
it, and it was normal to see Eric at that time. He was probably squatting in the 9s, poaching
Yeah.
a grand. But him and Derek were going back and forth, and it was
Yeah.
like you just fucking feed off that shit.
Yeah.
Like they don't care if I'm squatting 650, 700.
They're still
they're
fired up for
treating
you?
it as them
Yeah.
squatting 1,000.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? And that's my mentality too. I go around and try to help people. Like I did a little seminar with Ray Williams.
Who?
Huh?
Who's that guy? What's he done?
I don't know,
Lil
some-
Ray?
little Ray Williams guy, Kevin Oak, and then this girl named Noelle. And
This girl named Noelle, as if we don't know who she is.
you guys know Noelle?
Of course we do.
Yeah, you perverts. But you have the people there, like they'll look at me and like I've told them I've squatted 805 multiple times in the gym, and they squat 315. I'm like, dude, this is no different. Your 100% is no different than my 100%. Like
Right.
it doesn't
Very
matter. Yeah,
true.
the numbers are different, but if you're squatting 95% and I'm squatting 9%, isn't that
Yeah,
still the
just
same
because-
amount of effort? that
Just
we have to
because your
put?
lifts are pitiful, don't feel bad.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say it.
Here's a cookie.
At a seminar, me and Mark did. Some high school kids were there that are big fans of Super Train. They asked me, like, what's 500 pounds feel on your back? And I asked the kid, like, well, what's your best squat? And the kid's like, 315. I was like, it probably feels like 320 on your back.
Right.
It hurts.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing ever because you get like guys asking, what does 800 pound feels like? I'm like, dude, it feels like 700. It feels like 600. Like it doesn't feel any different because the way I try to train is I take the bars. I'm going to take my top set.
Yeah.
So the tighter you can be, like 800 pounds, fuck it. It don't feel that bad.
Yeah.
Feels like every other set, whatever.
Whatever, bro.
What do you
Live my
think,
life a quarter mile at a time.
What do you think the main thing was that made that environment work? Was it just the fact, everyone's always trying to get better, or, was it Ernie Sr. kind of drilling in, the form and technique and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was senior would if you have a shitty lift, say you're warming up, I'm like, man, that felt like shit. Ernie, he'll sit back and he'll talk to you, pull you away for 10 minutes and tell you, kind of psych you up, tell you what you did wrong, and tell you how to fix it. Which fucking some people need that shit.
Coach / father figure.
Yeah, basically
kind of
you have a
thing.
father talking to you, which is awesome. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
You can't replace someone like that. But it's just that intensity is like I haven't had it since, and it kind of stinks because the team's gotten so big. It's kind of hard to get
Ernie
that.
Sr. seemed like he was very particular, which is a nice thing to have from a coach when they when they stick to their guns and they say, no, this is the way it works.
Yeah.
Hey, remember we talked about that? You're doing it the wrong way. This is the way we're talking about doing it. Like Louis Simmons is that way. And so some people might say, oh, well, Louis is a maniac or this training doesn't work or whatever. But he always brings you back to his principles.
Yeah.
And then when he does that each time, you're kind of comforted by it because you're like, that's what he believes and I should fucking believe it.
Yeah.
It made it work for
Trust
other
the
people.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a little bit
trust
like
it,
that
yeah.
in team sports where like whatever coach you want to bring up in basketball or football has a certain system that's a little outside of a circle or a little bit different than the norm.
Right.
But if you get your team to buy in, it's going to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at like Eric, like how he trains, like he's always doing the heavy singles. That's
Yeah.
what I've been used to for the ever. And fuck, does it work? I don't know. He's got 275 records.
Yeah.
He's got 308
And you
records.
had a
Fuck
record.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, and I've had a broken record a couple times. But at a certain time, you need to change things up.
Right.
You know, my body's going to adapt better to more reps and more sets. So it's just something to try out. So something to try different. You know what I mean?
And even just different phases of a year or a career.
Yeah.
Doing different things.
Yeah, and then if you look at Eric, it's not broken, so don't fix it. Me, it's like I'm going to have great lifts in the gym.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
go to a meet, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, just
you know,
not
it's
there.
a waste of fucking time, it feels like. Almost like,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, something is broke. Let's fucking fix it.
And you found two things that maybe are it, right? Maybe the big cuts and then maybe
Yeah,
just
the big cuts
some more
and
work
then-
in the gym.
And more volume, you know, even
Yeah,
at a
there's
higher
volume.
weight. Volume.
There's a lot of ways to get stronger, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that that's important for people to recognize. Is like there's not just one way, you know. West Side Barbell, they'd use the max effort work, you know, which is very similar to kind of sounds like what you guys were doing,
Yeah.
except for you guys were just sticking to the main movement, which is a competition squat, and not really cycling through different exercises, but doing going as heavy as you can and then letting your body rest and recuperate from it. Of course it'll work.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, the flip side of it is to do 3 sets of 3 or 5 sets of 3 and increase frequency or increase volume or increase intensity. And you're always constantly just trying to move those things around. There's always ways to get stronger. There's a lot of different ways to do it.
So you have a drinking habit that we actually is the reason that we brought you on the show.
It's intervention.
We all care about you. We all want to see you succeed. We want to see you make it past age 18.
A fine Pilsner.
Yeah, that's mine. Mine and Tom Finn's good to go beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn that from him?
Yeah, he's the one that helped me drink a lot. So,
He helped you with your drinking.
Was he
Yeah, he
really
helped
big
me
into
with
underage drinking?
yeah, he was huge in under drinking, man. He helped me out a lot when I was under 21. No, like I was telling Mark earlier.
Isn't he like an officer? What the hell's going on?
Well, he's I mean, prison guard. I don't know how that counts as. But I was telling Mark.
Correctional peace officer.
Correctional
That
police
ain't count as
officer.
much.
Earlier that like Finn, like me and him stay pretty busy with work and stuff, so it's tough to find time to train together. And he's got 2 kids, so it's tough time. He doesn't even go out to the bar anymore. That's probably
Guy's
why we
a
have bars
dad.
and basements. Yeah,
He's a dad.
So when we
How
squat
funny is that?
together, we'll
Dad
just
bod.
drink beer together. Because that's our bar time, so it's kind of nice. And we don't get fucked up, we don't get retarded, but we'll we'll have some beers, we'll have a relax, we'll just have some go squat or deadlift, whatever the hell we're gonna do something stupid.
I want to see somebody run that study. Like maybe everybody should be drinking when they're.
Maybe everybody should.
I mean, it does affect your blood and whatever
Yeah,
else, so
yeah.
maybe good.
I don't know. I've never had a bad time working out with beer. That's never sucked.
True.
I guess I remember one time drinking with him. I squatted like 750 for a double, chugging Miller Lite. So
That's what I'm
it's
talking about.
got
Stone
us-
Cold did it, right?
Yeah, if he can do it, we can do it.
One time you came out to one of the meets and you finished a squat, and I think maybe someone posted online, maybe you posted it, I can't remember, but you're like, man, like just everyone's just tearing it apart, like for depth and
Yeah.
and I just said, hey, like just you got to make a decision on whether you want people to be like, wow, he squatted really low, or he squatted a lot of weight. Like you got to make a decision on which way you want to go with it, and if you even care about that kind of stuff. How does that stuff affect you? And
Yeah, no, I remember that conversation with you because I asked you about it. I'm like, hey, did you get a side view? Because everybody's talking shit about my depth. I think I squatted like 716 that day,
Right.
and you're like, if you can look yourself at the end of the day in a mirror and be like, you did your best,
Yeah.
you're happy with that squat, then none of that shit fucking matters.
yeah. If you feel good,
Yeah,
then you're
and
set.
sometimes like I'll get shit like, hey, don't feed into the haters and the bullshit, the people talking shit. But sometimes I like feeding into it. I like talking to them because it fires me the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm doing. You don't think I know how to fucking squat? Really, dude?
You
I
know
think
when
I
it-
know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you know when it feels a little high, and
Yeah.
maybe when it feels
I mean,
too low
yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever.
I know if I'm an inch high, I
Yeah.
can tell you.
Yeah.
Because it's for me, it's optimal to go below parallel because if I don't, I'm not going to get the most out of my reps.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You don't
dude,
get the
I know-
rebound.
No, you don't get that rebound. It's
Yeah.
almost like you're stopping how fast it could be, and it's going to be more of a grinder if I go high. I'm like, dude, I know exactly where I need to squat to. But I feed off it sometimes, so I'm like, fuck, I'll talk to these guys.
It's going to be at every meet, regardless of federation, regardless of equipment or not. People are going to hate on some lift. Even this past weekend, JP made Price had an amazing meet. He squatted about 960 something in sleeves. Ridiculous. Bench 633.
He
ridiculous.
came out of nowhere too, right? All of a sudden he's JP Price. I'm like, holy fuck,
yeah,
man,
he's
this guy's
so
awesome.
strong and he's so nice. Such a good guy. I wish he was around longer so we could chat on him here. I'm sure we'll have him eventually, but
I talked to him quite a bit.
Yeah, he's
over
great.
The weekend. He's great
pulled
dude.
760, 23 something total, amazing. But he even mentioned, he's like, look, I'm following commands. My press command comes and I hit it. Am I super happy with this? Maybe not, but it is what it is. And then even Ed Cohn posted on Facebook, who was the head judge at the time. He's like, look, I judged 100,000 presses this weekend. Were everyone the exact same? No.
Right.
Did I do my best? This is who I am. I did.
Yeah.
Right? That's every ump in the league.
Right.
It's every referee in NBA. Like, shit happens. Not every call's perfect.
Right.
And did he follow the rules of that day? Yes. Right?
Yeah.
The judges gave him the commands. The judges gave him the good lift. And that's that's part of the sport.
And it's funny because we were talking at dinner, like in basketball, if you get a bad call, you blame the ref. If in powerlifting you get a bad call, you blame the lifter.
Always.
You know, you're following the fucking rules.
Well,
you know what I mean?
in a
what else do you
basketball
want me to
game,
do?
one basketball game, which is two teams, whatever, three refs, depending on the league, there'll be hundreds of bad calls.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So then why
Yeah.
wouldn't you expect the same from any other sport?
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And powerlifting refs, by and large, aren't getting paid anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And
In NBA,
NFL, it's like six-figure salaries in NBA.
they're making a
Yeah.
lot.
In
Yeah,
NFL.
and baseball umps get up to $300,000
Yeah,
a year.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is what it is. It's going to be a part of every
And they're
sport.
fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of them are historically fucked up. You come into a game knowing that the guy behind the plate has a shitty strike zone that's all over the place.
He's super inside or super outside or whatever. Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Nobody fired him.
Yeah.
And going even deeper into that, in basketball, in football, there's going to be some jersey grabbing. Is that in the rules? No. Does it get caught sometimes? Yes. Does it not get caught sometimes? No. Right? So are guys going to try to sneak a press command or take what's given to them? Like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you're a
Right.
competitor. So is it right, wrong, the other? No, it's just part of sports.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the deal with JP was he's so big
It looks different.
that it looks a lot different. When Ed was judging, he even asked me. He's like, I don't know what to do with JP. He's he sinks the weight, and I don't want to hold him there forever. So I was like, well, just call it as you see it, man. If you think you see the bar stopped, then just tell him to press it back up. You know?
Right.
And same with squats. When you get a bigger person or a taller person, their hip crease looks so different than little Tommy here squatting.
Right,
Good or bad. Like sometimes you see yours too clearly, and then you get ridiculed, and sometimes a big guy you see clearly or not at all. So it's just it's so different than any other sport.
Yeah, with JP Price, his opening bench. It looked like there was literally no.
That was the fastest I've ever seen 600 pounds move in any lift.
It was
Yeah, and then I had to
super
lift
fast.
after him. I'm like, oh, here's 342. Watch out.
It was kind of neat. The crowd went, whoa. They went with the weight.
Yeah,
They
it was
went,
so
"Whoa."
fast. It was so fast.
But the press command seemed really, really fast on that one. And then when he did the 633 or 39 or whatever it was at the end there, it looked like he did pause it a little bit longer. The truth usually is that a lot of times, these guys compete again. They go somewhere else and they do this. They do the lift again.
He benched 633 4 months ago, or 4 weeks ago, in a different meet and a different judge and a different federation, and it was still okay. So,
and there's also in none of the rules state that there's any extended period of time associated with the pause.
1, 2, 3 seconds.
It's just a pause of stopping of the barbell for a second.
The head judge's call.
There isn't a specific number that you're supposed to be hitting, and people underestimate how much adrenaline there is for the head judge.
Yeah.
Right. You see 640 on the bar. It's a little different than me squatting, benching 315.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be a little more pressure too.
And it's a long day for everyone.
Everybody's nervous.
Yep.
You don't intend to call a quick press command, but it happens.
Yeah.
And it largely because of that adrenaline. You see that's a big weight,
And one of the reasons for the
anybody
pause
could
too
die
is
there.
not it's not to make people lift less weight. It's not to have the guy hold the weight on his chest for an extended period of time. It's to make sure that there's contact.
Yeah.
And to make sure the person isn't bouncing.
Yeah, to make sure you're not doing a high
bounce.
school football press.
Yeah.
Like
No
Tom.
kidding. What? We don't have football in my school. It's possible.
Really?
No, I went to
Mine
a school
neither.
with one hallway, dude. And there's like 250 people with faculty. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you from?
Shabana.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Small as hell, man. I love it though. That's what I like. I like because it's all slow paced. You know what I mean? It's not that city's because I say I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
But I'm not. It's just easier. I want to tell people I'm from Shabana.
Yeah.
Population 1,000. Yeah. I mean, nobody.
Like,
what the hell is that?
Do you have to milk your own cows?
No, I didn't milk my own cow. I went to the store, man. It was like a half hour away, but I went there.
Wow.
Yeah, you live out in the country?
Yeah, that's where I grew up for like 20 some years. Lived out in the country.
God damn,
Yeah,
and you still ran into
farmhouse.
that nut job. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be, man. I'm gonna tell you.
What do you think about that guy and what the hell he's doing? I think he's a amazing guy, obviously, but he has the potential to be one of the best 220 and 242 powerlifters maybe ever. Who knows? But definitely all-time record. Like, he's strong as shit.
Yeah.
But he's getting all this love for being a maniac.
An
on
idiot.
Yeah, and I personally love that. But some people I know are talking kind of the opposite. Like, man, this guy's not a real lifter. Like, that motherfucker can lift.
Yeah. No, he is strong, and it's funny because when I was 15, he would kind of coach me, and now it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm trying to coach him, like, dude.
Chill
He's
out.
like, I'm gonna bench 455 today. I go, how about you bench 435? I go, you just fucking tore your pec 4 months ago. I said, just calm down. So it's like now I'm kind of have to like mediate him and try to help him out to where he doesn't push it too hard because he's an idiot. So I just go, I feel good. I'm gonna bench 500 today. I go, how about you put the beer bong down? How about we train some reps, and how about you take it easy for a little bit, dude?
Because he's
So
crazy strong.
Yeah, and he's crazy strong, but he's not that smart. You know what I mean? He's really not. Because he feels it and you go for it. You know, that's not always the best program to run off of. Sometimes you got to hold yourself back. So it's like me constantly. I got to pull the reins on the guy. I'm like, dude, relax. Like like if you tear it again, you got to start all over again.
Yeah.
If not, then we can pick a meet in March. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a constant battle. But he'll call me like 3-4 times a week with like crazy ideas and stuff. I'm like, no, don't fucking do that, dude. And then on Instagram later, I'm like, son of a bitch, Tom, I told you not to do that. But I always tell him, like, dude, you could be a great 220 lifter if you just calm down, do a smart prep, and put a good total together.
You think more of his goals are just to get on Fox Sports and some of these things, though?
Sometimes, because he does some stupid stuff, but it's funnier than hell,
he's
what it's done.
Pete Rubish seems to be a little bit that way. Like he kind of, when he came on here, he said like he wants to hit 1,000-pound deadlift, and he doesn't care if he just does it in the gym with straps. Or he doesn't care the conditions. So he doesn't necessarily care to be like recognized as like an all-time great. He wants to lift like a savage and wants to train like a goddamn maniac, and then let the chips fall where they may when he competes.
Right.
And maybe Tom is similar. He's just having fun with it. And
yeah, I mean, he's having fun with it, he's rolling with it, and that's where he's got a lot of his media exposure from. He's just doing crazy, stupid shit. Bench pressing 500 in the back of a moving pickup on fire. Like, that's nuts. But at a certain point, it's like, hey, let's put a fucking total together.
My favorite was the walked out squat.
That's
out of the gym.
He walked it right out of the gym, and then he's in the freezing cold, and he squats like 600 pounds or something.
I did like the 108 reps with a goat.
It was 108 reps. Yeah,
that removed the curse.
Yeah, that's why the Cubs won the World Series. That's probably
I'm personally going to remove the curse from the Cubs.
He said that they brought the goat in, and it was sitting shotgun with the guy. It wasn't even in a trailer. It was in shotgun in the pickup truck to the gym. And he gets to the gym, and the goat's scared as shit, because it's fucking. You can't bring a goat into the gym. And it fucking shitting and pissing everywhere. They finally got it on the board so he can bench some reps with it. And then he took it back home in the pickup.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
Does he ever try to get you to do some of that stuff?
Sometimes we'll come together on stupid shit and we'll do it together, but it's so hard because he works he's like 11 to 7, and my schedule's like sometimes it's just 7 to 3, 3 to 11.
Like light a firecracker off at his ass or something?
Yeah, I'm not too sure how well that went.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
That's 4th of July.
Really bad idea.
It's for the 4th of July.
Yeah, so it was for America.
It was
for America.
Was it like a bottle rocket?
Yeah, I think it was a bottle rocket.
Just putting a explosive up your ass seems like a bad idea.
No, it's shot out.
Yeah. So have we answered the question? Is Tom Finn always crazy? Have we answered that question now? The answer
pretty
is
much.
yes.
I mean, when it's just me and him, we're pretty calm. Because we if not, we feed off each other and we go pretty fucking nuts, especially when we're around people.
And alcohol
that doesn't hurt. But he's a nutball. But it's kind of nice when it's just me and him because we can actually talk about shit and figure shit out. So.
When he was out here, we called Tom Kallas from Tom Finn's phone.
Me. I had to end my conversation with my girlfriend so I could FaceTime you guys.
And he's like laying there in bed naked, and he's like, like on a bunch of pillows this way, and we could like see his butt in the background.
Yeah, I got a large ass. I missed that one.
Damn, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, when he was at the house, when Finn was at the house, he was like, "I'm gonna go back inside and grab another beer." And I was like, oh, my wife's in there like with like book club people. I was like, do something weird. And he's like, okay. He gets all excited. And he just takes his shirt off and walks in. He's like, you guys got any beer? My wife's like, yeah, I think in the fridge out there. And then he kind of walked through and I was thinking, oh, man, like those ladies must have been so embarrassed. And then I came in the house later, and then when Tom left, my wife's like, my friends were like, we're coming here every day. Does that happen all the time?
I'm sure he fucking loved every second of that, too. That's awesome.
Fucking sitcom walking through your house there.
Yeah,
he is.
He's pretty jacked.
He's very jacked.
What do you got coming up next, buddy?
I was just kind of talking to Silent Mike about that. I'm thinking maybe something April or try to come back. Depends when, like I said, summers are hard for me. Try to come back maybe in the summer and compete again. I really like just put up some solid numbers. You know what I mean? Just stop fucking around, cutting, going for world records. I just want to have a solid meet. I see all these people that,
does it kind of hurt you a little bit to chase after the squat? Maybe it affects the total a little bit sometimes?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I've always been told if you back off on your squats, your lifts are probably going to go up, but that's my thing. So that's what I always fucking go for, 100%. You know what I mean? Then I kind of fucking blow my load on that and then bench and deadlift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're all serious during your squat. And then afterwards, I know I can talk to you. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so that kind of needs to change, I need to I like to put together a better total, better meet. Because you see, like, not like just like beginners, but like, immediate lifters that are like, I'm 8 for 9 today. I'm 7 for 9. I'm 9 for 9. I'm like, yeah, it's 4 for 9, 5 for 9. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, man, I need to get more lifts than I miss. I'm like, that'd be nice. I'm like, son of a bitch. So Mike said he's going to try to train me.
You have a lot more fun. You have a lot more fun when you
probably
make lifts
would
than miss
you
lifts.
Yeah. It sucks.
Your deadlift has improved over the years.
Yeah.
What have you done to help increase your deadlift?
I did a lot. So I keep going back and forth between sumo and conventional. Now I'm like at a semi-sumo. But I used to do a shitload of deficits, like a shitload. I always stand on a 3-inch and then just pull like a motherfucker. And then my to my knees was super fast. And then all of a sudden, now my knees to lockout sucked. Yeah. I'm like, son of a bitch. So now I started doing a lot of banded pulls. I pulled 6'11" in the meet, but they didn't give it to me. But I'm going to give it to me because I felt like I got that.
Those pricks.
Yeah, I know.
Jesse Burdick?
No, Ed Cohn.
Who?
I don't know. Some guy. I don't even know heard of him before.
Bunch of pricks.
Yeah, but
Why
it's
did
all
they
right.
give it to you?
Is what it is. I don't know. I never asked. I
What's
just
your
walked
best
away.
pull ever?
Did you tell them that we know
625.
each other?
What?
You tell them that we know each other?
Yeah, I
Hey,
said-
I'm from Chicago. Go Cubbies, eh?
I know Mark Bell.
6'11", eh?
I'm going to be on the podcast.
You talking about your third deadlift?
Yeah, third, because I missed it on my second. I had wrist wraps on.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Mike about it. He goes,
that's
maybe
so
should,
weird.
maybe
Coach
should-
Silent Mike coming through.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it, but I lost my grip, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. And then I was looking at my old videos on my phone of my last deadlift, and I didn't have wrist wraps on. And I'm like, man, maybe I should take this off. And Mike's like, yeah, maybe you should. So I'm like, okay. So I took them off, and I pulled it, but I didn't lose my grip, but I didn't get it either.
Yeah, I just never
I think it
personally
was just
done
a
it.
little bit of up and down just from I just haven't looked
Well,
at
that's
the
not
video.
what I saw. But all right.
A lot of people will wrap their wrists and they think it presses
Yeah.
on their forearms and closes their grip tighter. But what I found personally is that I just lose feeling in my hands. If I'm
Yeah.
going to wrap it tight enough for my forearm to like activate to close it, then I'm
Yeah.
going to lose feeling. So I've never had success with it, even though there are some that do.
I used to have had grip problems, but now with work, I work with my hands so fucking much.
Those
that
things
I
are
really-
tiny.
Well, they're strong though. I mean, they're average. Again, average hands for my average body. But I never had a grip issue since. And then I found that a little trick, as an old guy at the gym taught me, was before you deadlift, he goes, wash your hands as much as you can and dry them the fuck off, and then put chalk on. Don't just keep using that chalk. And he said you'll never lose your grip. And I never have. So,
Except for that second attempt.
well, I don't think I wash my hands.
Ouch. Actually, that was one of the questions. What do you do for grip training, or do you do
work.
anything specific?
I work
Just work.
16 hours a day. That's my grip training.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck you, get a job, kid.
I mean, I've never really done like static holds or rack pulls for grip. A lot of times I warm up with straps. And then I'll just pull my top 3 sets with
Your tiny little hands, your big hands.
I
I'd say
have
they
very
are
small
average,
hands.
actually. They're about the same size as mine.
I don't know. Give me your hand, bud.
Oh, this is going to get gay.
That's not my hand. Yeah, same size. I mean, I don't really have, but
But they're not big.
but they're not big.
Yeah,
So,
where you looking
know,
like guys like Ed Cohn and
Yeah, you got these guys have monster paws, and I got these guys, but
little claws.
But they fucking hold, man. Fuck
Do
it. You know what I mean? It works.
I guess the question could have been, do they make your dick look big or small?
I don't know, Amber. I never really looked that
Why'd you
hard
just
at
get
it.
so nervous? I've never seen you so nervous.
Got a little flustered.
Yeah. Well, if my mom's listening, I don't want her to talk about my penis.
Why does your mom listen to our podcast?
She's just jacked up about it. She
She's
loves
a big,
herself some Mark
excited?
Bell. Yeah,
She's a big
she loves
fan.
Mark
Excited?
Bell.
I don't blame her.
It's funny because I was telling people I had 2 older brothers, right, and we all powerlifted in high school, and all we did was watch Bigger, Stronger, Faster. And go,
God.
look at this Mark guy, he looks pretty cool. And then now all of a sudden, like, it's just fucking Mark Bell.
Yeah, you realize how stupid I am.
I'm like, this guy's not that great.
Yeah, just talk about poop all the time.
Yeah, you do talk about.
What about diet? You mentioned you kind of hang around a certain body weight to try to cut and whatever. You pay attention to any of that, or you just kind of eat?
I used to not really. I just I was like, I eat healthy because I used to be a bodybuilder for like my teenage years. I did a lot of bodybuilding.
Do we have any pictures?
Yeah, they're on the gram.
Oh man!
In a little
both
pair
are-
of undies?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I got some
How'd we
bodybuilding
miss
pictures up there.
those, Mike?
I don't know
I
if
don't
I've seen
know.
them.
Jim, how'd we miss those?
I mean, I was
no
super,
idea.
I mean, I was small. I mean,
the
I dieted
research
down.
hammock?
What?
Banana hammock?
Yeah, man thong.
Research department.
Yeah, man
failed us.
thong. That's what Tom Finn.
Why do you keep saying like I used to be kind of small?
I was like 140.
You're like
man.
180 pounds.
Is a
I'm
man
massive.
thong and
Why does
girl
nobody
thong
know
built
this?
differently? Silent
I
Mike?
feel like
What
it
is it?
Man thong and girl thong, are they built differently?
They have to be in the pooch in the front,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tom could probably use the ladies, but everybody else would.
Come on, bud.
Come on, pal.
Might be a little tight in the crotch.
Come on, Tiger.
Yeah. No, I used to do bodybuilding, so that helped with my diet a lot. But then after I kind of got away from it, I still knew how to eat.
What's that dancing wig thing that you did?
I don't know.
Blonde hair?
Where are we at?
Sometimes just get after it,
Is it in
Just a
here?
long night of myself, being
I
by
saw-
myself.
Well,
Tell me-
the wig.
Oh, I didn't
yeah, the
see
wig
it.
in the middle. In the middle, the dance moves.
Oh, wait.
Don't lie. You were thinking about me.
I tagged you.
Yeah. See, I
See?
didn't see it.
There's Silent Mike. Come at me, Silent Mike. I feel like this would be a good representation of Slingshot, but I don't think it was.
How much rehearsal went on?
I
before
was
this?
sweating my ass off, dude. I probably did like 40 videos and I couldn't get it right. I was sweating so hard, and it's funny because I sent it first to my girlfriend's little sister, which sounds kind of weird, but she is really good at these dances. I go, "Is this pretty good?" And she goes, "Yeah." So then I posted it.
I never.
Your camera needs to be set up back further so you can get a little more movement.
I never saw.
I
it.
don't know.
I can't believe you tagged me. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I tagged it and you didn't respond.
I didn't see it. I swear.
That was pretty good. I saw you did this before though with this wig on.
Yeah, I did my
This
first.
alter
This like
ego?
years ago. I did another. Yeah, it's my alter ego. I guess you'd call that. It's my favorite wig and outfit.
We have no
How come
experience
you don't
with that on
hit
this
these
show.
dances after a lift?
Because usually I fail.
When he goes 9
That's
for
the
9.
best
Bam!
time.
There I am. Go down one.
Oh, you look disgusting.
No, not that one. That one to the right.
Bottom right.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Yo,
Jim.
what's up with your monster truck too? What are you
Oh,
trying
my-
to hide?
My diesel?
My big nose.
How
My
come
big
you look
black
a
dude.
lot older in that picture?
I feel like I look younger. I think I got a beard.
No, you look like you're 100.
I don't know about that. But no, yeah, I
Why
used
are
to
you
do-
sticking your ass out like that?
That's
That's
what
weird.
that's what the fans like to
That's
see.
a weird pose.
That's just how you're supposed to do it, I guess. I
Sticking
don't
those
know.
glutes out.
I was
like that?
18, bud. I was confused.
You're still confused. 18. Those 3 years ago.
5.
Tom Finn had you bodybuilding and sticking your ass out.
He
like that on
didn't
stage.
approve. He
He
like,
had
I don't know
you
what the
drunk.
hell you're doing all this tanning and stuff, Tom. You get back to lifting weights.
He probably did, huh?
Yeah.
He probably did tell you that.
Yeah, he did. But no, it was kind of cool because then you learn how to diet. Because the first time I started powerlifting, they told me like, you don't have to worry about a diet anymore. You see whatever the hell you want and lift. And I go,
Just eat sticky buns.
I
and
don't
get
know
big.
if I want to do that.
Donuts.
So, but this time I hired a diet coach, my buddy Ray, who does
Should
like this.
fire him.
I mean, my diet
Ray,
is good.
Ray, you're done.
He does Eat by Color, and it helped me a lot because I mean I cut 4 or 5 pounds, which was like nothing. You know, I mean I just did a water load and then I pissed it all out, which was super easy to make weight.
I got a piece.
But yeah, I'm about to
See what you
piss my
just did?
pants too. Heyo. But I'm like, now I was telling you, I'm like, dude, I feel like a lot better in the gym when I'm 195, 200, you know, and it'd be nice to walk into a meet
feel
not
good?
and feel good for once. You know what I mean? You feel good. And then like I was telling Dan, like, because you were picking all these guys' numbers, so they don't even know what they're lifting. Because like Smokey's an idiot, and
Yeah,
if you say he's going to do a lot of weight, he's going to freak out. And I'm always picking my own numbers, because it's hard for me to have handlers when I fly halfway across the country to
It's a little
compete.
different.
So it'd be nice just to walk into me and be like, "Hey, I'm
All you
just
do
going
is
to lift."
lift.
Yeah, all you do is lift, and there's really no thinking involved.
I
Which
just
would be
asked-
better for me.
You are chasing world records, so it is a little different. But I always just ask people, like, well, why did you get into this sport? And then why do you do what you do? And their answer is always, I want to lift a lot of weight. I want to lift my best weight.
Yeah.
And, like, so why are you doing all these things to take away from that goal?
Yeah.
Cutting weight,
Yeah.
choosing weird jumps, etc. That's pretty
me
funny.
and
Mark's
King
going to
Moran.
appreciate this one.
You and an Olympian.
Yeah, I didn't know she was an Olympian before I did that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
now you're
did the picture.
disrespecting us.
I did the picture, and like, oh shit, she's a big fucking deal. But she loved it. She thought it was hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
But yeah, no, you're right. Because why do you get into powerlifting? I want
Yeah.
to squat a lot. Okay, well, you just cut weight and then you missed. You just lowered your squat by 75 pounds.
Yeah,
but
you're just doing weird shit.
But I was chasing world records.
So
or I
chasing
am
world
chasing
record
world
is a
which is a little
different.
different.
I agree.
But at the same time, you just want to put out some good fucking numbers.
That's pretty good.
How great is that?
What's your favorite food to get after?
I don't know, man. I really like my breakfasts.
Which is?
I always do steak and eggs and then oatmeal. If I'm
You have
training.
steak and eggs every morning.
every single day.
Where the fuck? What are you living like a prince? Who are you?
Tom Kallas.
You go somewhere for that? You just eat it at your house?
No, I usually make it at my house. I only go out to breakfast as my girlfriend's over. Then we go out to breakfast all the time. But
You get steak and eggs wherever you go.
then I go to get steak and eggs. That's my favorite. That's my favorite fucking meal, man. You know,
like
just
some protein with some more protein?
protein with some protein. And then you don't, because everybody's like taking creatine all this stuff. So I get creatine out of my red meat. You know, and a lot of people give me shit like you shouldn't have that much red meat, and you have to stay on effort and you eat like 5 red meats a day.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if you can do it 5 times a day, I could probably do it once. You know what I mean?
Back in the day, like way back, they used to sell this stuff called Calorad that people felt like they lost weight and they got firmer or whatever. It was like beef shit. It was like creatine directly from cows and tasted like beef. And
That's gross.
Yeah.
Sounds gross.
What about desserts?
I'm not a huge dessert guy. It kind of fucks in my stomach because I usually keep a pretty clean diet. But I don't know. I usually do like whatever. Like we had like a cookie dish with ice cream on it yesterday.
You don't like dessert?
I'm not a big sweet guy. You know, I'm sweet enough as it is, so I don't need any
Short
more.
and sweet?
God damn it! Come on, Mark.
you walked into that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Damn. What else you got going on? Anything else going on?
I don't know.
Should we just end this shit?
Come on, bud. It's been like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie, little guy? You're like 22, so it's got to be something new.
I don't know.
You don't watch movies? They don't have movies?
I don't really watch a lot of movies. No, we
Video
don't have
games?
movies in the Midwest. Yeah, no.
Porn? You have
don't
a porn
watch
account? Do
porn.
you pay for porn? Come on.
He pays for porn.
He pays for porn.
No, I watch a lot of The Office
lot
and
of
like
it's free.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
you go.
Workaholics. I'm more of a TV guy. I usually can't sit for too long, and if I do, I'll just fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge movie buff at all, unless it's like The Notebook, which is a great film. You know,
Right.
You cry a little at the end every
no,
time.
I don't. These
What
eyes
do your
don't cry.
what's your family think about your powerlifting stuff?
They're pretty supportive. Like my parents wouldn't care what I'm doing. You know, they're very supportive. My brothers, they're into it. My brother Tim was we all powerlifted together, which was cool. You know, I mean, in high school we were all we basically did. We didn't know we were powerlifting, you know, because we were kind of, you know,
Just lifting heavy.
We just lifting heavy all the time. So we always kind of feed off each other. And then my one brother Tim got an MMA, and he was like one fight away from being a pro. So he was really good in that aspect.
Yeah.
My parents, we supported the shit out of him. My other brother's an Olympic lifter. Which he tried to get me to do it once, and I just, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck
hard.
I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
It's all form. There's no
Yeah, it's too
strength.
difficult.
Not that there's no strength,
Right.
but I'm like, this isn't fucking for me.
You can't muscle it up.
No,
Yeah,
and I would just muscle the shit out. Like, I don't know what this is. What is this? Like
Yeah.
clean? Jerk clean? I would like throw the bar. I try to reverse curl it. I'm like, Thurston, I can't do this anymore, buddy. But then
Is he still doing that?
a little bit. He's in medical school right now, so he's off being a doctor and whatnot. So his thing is like, I'm just going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And my other brother stopped fighting, has a bad back, so I'm going to stay healthy. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep powerlifting because that's kind of my niche.
Yeah.
So I kind of just kept it, and I just fucking ran with it, and I still am. So I don't see it really ending a lot anytime soon, because you see a lot of people, they'll get like a big lift, a big record, and they kind of fall off.
Yeah.
They get one record and then they're done.
Especially
it's really
young
hard.
guys.
Yeah, especially young guys. Yeah, they just kind of, I don't know what happens. You know, they kind of fall off the face of the earth. Me, I'm just trying to keep pushing it every time I compete. Just
The sport
keep
is
pushing
hard,
the
you
number.
know. I think it kind of seems simple, you know, outsider looking in, but it gets to be very difficult. And to powerlift for a few weeks or a few months, kind of fun. You know,
Yeah.
to powerlift for a year or two might be exciting. To change things up a little bit, but to be in it all the time,
Yeah.
and and to be accountable for lifting heavy, and then for yourself, you know, you set all-time world record. Now that's like a new standard.
Yeah,
You
now
have
it's
to try
like
to-
I have to try it every time I
Yeah,
compete.
how the fuck do you do
You know
that?
what I mean, it is a little bit of pressure, but you know, I don't really feel it too much.
Right.
Yeah, maybe everybody feels a little bit of pressure, but it's like I'm just gonna give it all I fucking got. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm gonna take the squat as hard as I can hit it. I'm gonna hit my reps as hard as I can. I'm gonna fucking go for it no matter what.
Right.
So
your mom and dad, did they ever get a chance to go to a powerlifting meet before?
they have. The only powerlifting meet they went to, I bombed out.
Oh.
I go, Mom, Dad, you're bad luck. I said, no, you don't have to come around anymore.
Jesus.
So, yeah, but I was going for a world record that day too. It's
Right.
like every time I compete, I'm going for a world record, which is kind of cool. But it'd be kind of cooler to get them all the time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so maybe you got to take a step back with your training
yeah,
and just change
yeah,
things up.
because I feel like I push it so fucking hard, which is fine to a point, but it something's obviously broken, so something's got to get fixed. So I almost need to step back even further, because usually when my training cycles, whenever I train, I usually do 10 to 12 week cycles. I always work up to 800 pounds, then I go compete. And then I go to compete and I squat at 705. You're like, well, that's fucking disappointing as shit. You know what I mean? So, and this time I even downed my numbers a little bit even more. I worked up to 760. And it's still like squat at 705. I'm like, okay, let's do something different. Something else needs to change, man. So throw some more volume in and see what Silent Mike has to say, and we'll fight about it over the phone.
It's the hardest thing to do. Longevity is the hardest thing to have in the sport, and it's hard to be honest with yourself, and it's hard to go back and reevaluate and say, okay, well, I need to work on these 12 different things that I suck at.
Yeah.
That's the hardest stuff to do, is to examine what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And then go back and try to clean it up.
Yeah. And that's why, I'll give Derek Kendall a call. I'm like, hey, did you see what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And he'll be like, well, your back sucks. That's why you missed it. Your chest is small. That's why you can't bench. And your hamstrings are weak. That's why you can't squat. You're like, okay, that's what I need. You need some fucking honesty. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't have someone patting your back and be like, no, it's a form issue, son. You got to just fix your form.
Just not today.
Yeah, you just got to look up a little more. No, maybe your hamstrings fucking suck, dude.
Right.
Maybe your upper back is weak, and that's why you can't hold the bar that well.
And that's a hard answer, because you're educated, you know what's going on. It's going to take you 2 years to build up your back.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen in 8
It's
weeks.
happen in 8 weeks, So it's like, that's why I always tell Mike I'm a huge proponent of accessories. Even after a meet, you don't miss accessory day. It starts right over. You might, I'm not squatting 700 pounds again, but I ain't stopping my back workouts. I'm stop training hamstrings or trying to build my small chest. You know what I mean? So, because I think accessories makes the biggest difference ever.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for longevity.
You see a lot of lifters, they'll go bench, not just especially my team, but in general, you see guys that they'll go bench or squat a rep and they go home. And you're like, dude, you got 12 weeks. I think you can do some leg presses or extensions and you're going to recover just fine, man. You don't need to go home yet. But I don't know if that's a mentality. And I used to train with Derek Kendall a lot, and he would everybody's over there texting on their phones and Instagramming, and me and him were fucking just going like a madman in the gym at midnight.
Yeah.
And that's where I take that and I run with it. And now I start doing that myself. And a lot of people.
Why are you guys training so late?
We would call that Lily Bridge time. You say we're going to train at 7. They show
money
up.
time.
Yeah,
money time.
they train. You could train at 7 and they show up at 9. So okay, guess we're training at 9. So you get done squatting.
It just takes forever to lift because everyone's so strong.
Yeah, and when you're warming up with 600, 700, 800 pounds, it takes a while. So sometimes we would. This is like years ago. We would be in the gym till 2. Sometimes I was up with Eric until 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'd drive home, get home at 3:45. I'd sleep till 5, and I go to work. And I go. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Maybe something needs to change because I'm not getting any sleep, and if I'm not recovering, something's not going to work. But me and Derek would just go nuts in the gym on legs, and I think that's what you need. I think that's where a lot of powerlifters fail, is they don't do accessories.
Derek Kendall was. He probably still is huge. But
I think he's like 305 right now. But he's, he used to be a bodybuilder, so that's the same mentality that he took into powerlifting.
Yeah, put in work.
Yeah, you put in a fuckload of work, and a lot of people, they'll put in the singles work, but they don't put in the accessory work, which is, that makes a big difference.
He'd bench, then he'd do incline bench, and then he'd use dumbbells, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
He never fucking stops. You know what I mean? I think he like said he loved watching Dorian Yates videos, and then he would just feed off that. So it was really cool to have the chance to train with him for like 2 years and just take that, for myself. And
you just watch my videos before you work out, or what?
No.
Really?
No.
Why were you dancing then? Where'd you get that idea?
Okay, I got that from
All right, just saying.
I usually just watch my own videos because a lot of people, they'll give me shit because I don't really watch a lot of sports. I don't watch baseball. Like, the Cubs won. Yeah, it's great. But I'm not a huge – I like the Cubs, but I don't really sit there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll sit there and watch my own myself. You know, that seems kind of like stupid or, why are you watching yourself all the time? But I'm picking apart my squat
trying to get
6
better.
times a day. Right. What did I do wrong? How do I fix it? And how do I become a better lifter from that? So I just watch my own videos all the time.
The worst is when you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Because when you watch it and then you compare it to – 3 years ago I lifted better or lifted it faster or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did I do then?
Yeah.
Like, probably just maybe even thought about it less,
Yeah. But I was even talking to Stan a little bit at the meet, and he's like,
Rhino.
Yeah, the Rhino. And he was talking about all the little things to do. Salting your food, vitamin D. He goes, sleep. He goes, is your sleep changed? I go, yeah, I sleep a lot less now. I'm a lot busier with work. He goes, that might be your fucking problem, dude. You're not sleeping enough, so you're not recovering. You can only take so many supplements to recover. You can't really replace sleep with anything else. So,
Any poop stories for us?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I got one.
Tom's a big podcast fan. He listens all the time.
Yeah,
Don't lie to us.
I listen at work, or not at work. Driving to and from work. I'd rather listen to you guys on the radio all the time.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
The roller blading one or roller skating one.
Pretty
was
good right
pretty
now.
good.
Yeah.
The Matt Vincent shitting on the
pretty good.
side
Yeah, the
of
roller
road.
skating one was hilarious.
The
That
roller
was fucking
skating one
awesome.
is Matt Vincent's favorite, and he's
That's
got
awesome.
in top 5, at least
That was
one
pretty
top
good.
5.
Meg
himself,
Squats
so.
was pretty good, but she claimed it was her friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
likely.
No, I was. So I had this job where I had to walk around houses. So like I'd park in a suburb, and in some suburbs, or not suburb, a subdivision. Some subdivisions are pretty big, so you'd have to walk, for 2-3 hours before you see a car, before you see your water, before you see a bathroom. And I was at a point where I was done bodybuilding. I'm like, I'm gonna gain weight. I haven't drank milk in 2 years. I'm gonna drink a half a gallon a day. So I'm like, I'll start drinking milk. So I put like this, half gallon in my cooler. Started like chugged a bunch of it, drank like a half gallon. Started walking around these houses, and I'm like, oh boy, like this
Doing
isn't
the fart
good.
walk.
Yeah, so I'm like clenching, trying to walk, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm like, I can't go to
What's
the
around
bathroom.
you? Like
Houses.
anything? But yeah,
Subdivision, like nothing, dude, just houses. I'm like, fuck.
no gas station, no nothing.
No, nothing. So I'm like trying to like crouch behind bushes and take a shit, and I was like a 2-hour walk around these houses, and I took like 6 shits. And I'm like, this is it. I'm done, dude. I'm like, I made myself lactose intolerant, man. I'm done shitting in people. And then I'm like, because you're squatting down behind bushes, and like you're looking around, like looking through it, because like, oh, man, I hope these people are at work today, because I'm shitting in the backyard. Like there's like towels
You're just
everywhere, like
fertilizing-
socks. I'm like, fuck,
Fertilizing
man.
a new neighborhood.
Yeah, just shit growing everywhere. I'm like, all right, I'm done. No more milk gaining for me.
6?
Fucking awful. I think it was 6.
Why after one wouldn't be like, fuck it, I'm going home?
You don't just quit in the middle of a round, bud. You got to finish your work.
How did you clean up? You didn't?
I had a cargo pants, so I'd shove them full of towels, and then you just have to use those. Yeah, there's like shit towels everywhere. And after that, shit towels everywhere.
Just work towels?
I stopped drinking milk after that. Oh. Yeah, that was awful, Matt. I must have made myself lactose intolerant because I didn't drink milk when I was bodybuilding. And then I tried chugging a bunch of it, and it
shit your face out.
It just didn't agree with me at all. My stomach was fucked up, man. That was pretty bad. It was. Imagine shitting in someone's backyard 6 times. You know what I mean? Walking.
Did you spread this out? Or did you go to the same little
No,
hole?
because I keep walking. I go, here we go again, and then have to do it all over again. I'm like, this sucks, man. So you try to find like bushes or like fences and like behind garbage cans.
Fenced backyards or
Sometimes
not?
fenced, sometimes not. Depends. I don't know. It depends on the yard. I don't
Sounds
really remember.
illegal.
It probably wasn't legal.
Is that what you're doing?
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever. It was terrible. It
surveying the land and shitting.
Yeah, I think that's illegal.
I don't know. That's why I'm not mentioning exactly what I did. Just a job I had when I was younger.
In case there's not a statute of limitations or anything like that.
I don't know what's going to happen when I get back to Illinois.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, it was probably
You're
the
gross.
worst day of my life. Yeah, well, it was gross, Mike. You tried doing that.
I would just go home and poop in my pooper.
You can't just go.
I would go back to work after.
No, it doesn't work that way.
How would you know when you were done, though?
I would just call in sick or something.
You're already there.
6 shits in one day means you're sick.
He could just call me. I'd understand.
Yes, really, I'm sick.
I had to abandon our mission for today. I had to go back home and shit.
Not much of a quitter. I kept going through it. I finished the day.
How many towels do you use? 6 then?
I don't know. It was like 5 years ago, man. I don't remember.
Likely excuse.
It's too many. That's what it was. Yeah,
You're
it
a
was
terrible
gross.
human being, you know that?
Yeah.
Those
I
poor
know.
people.
Well, oh well. Not my problem.
Can you imagine walking? We mentioned this with the other story too. Can you imagine just walking out, grabbing your newspaper, and there's a pile of human shit just next to you on your lawn,
Walking
where
right
your
into
kids play?
Yep.
it. Stepping right into it.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
What's up with the Caffeine and Kilos hat? What do you got going on with those guys?
Those guys have been awesome. I met them through you pretty much because I did that meet. What was that gym before this one?
Super training.
No, I know it's super training, but
Yeah,
it was
Midtown,
a different
Midtown,
Midtown Fit. Like that's the first time I came out here.
Oh, okay.
I think I was sponsored by you then.
Right.
And then I met
The
Kathy.
backyard meet of the century.
Yeah, one of those. I think that was probably the last meet that you guys had there.
Oh, okay.
And I met Charlie there, and he gave me this hat. It was a white hat with a K, and I go, well, my last name's Kallas, so I'm gonna wear this K hat with a K on it.
There we go.
So I didn't really know what the company was or anything,
Right.
but I just started wearing the shit out of the hat because I liked it. So I wore it a bunch, and I'd always like, oh, but I should tag these guys in my squatting videos or
Right.
whatever when I wore it. And he fucking loved that I'd tag him. And that's some point where I was getting a lot stronger. So I was squatting into the 7s in my training and stuff. So he fucking loved it. And then I think like 2 years ago, he like he had a conference call with me. We texted back and forth a little bit, sent me some products or some shirts and whatnot. And he's like, he had a conference call with Danny and Dean and Charlie, and they wanted me to be an athlete. And at that time, it was just like, hey, we'll give you anything you want shirt-wise. We just start out. I think they just probably like a year into their business at that time. And I go, fucking awesome, man. Cool, rock and roll. Because then I'm like, I got Mark Bell, I got Caffeine and Kilos, and now Caffeine and Kilos is blown up, which is awesome. So it's great to be a part of it. And they flew me and the girlfriend out this year, paid for our hotels. Like I couldn't ask for a better being taken care of from those guys.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people that like, they'll say, if you get a sponsor when you're lifting and they just want to give you a free shirt, don't take it. Like that's not a sponsor, but like, well, I got a fucking free hat, and I fucking ran with it, dude.
Yeah.
I ran with a free hat for a year.
We kind of talk about
and
that.
now I'm going to California for free once a year. You know what I mean?
We talk about
fucking
the
run with it,
important thing
dude.
that you did is that you wore the hat and you represented them first before there's any other conversation.
Yeah.
That's the key right there is to
I think that's what Charlie really liked.
Yeah, is to like, okay, this seems cool, this seems fun. I met the owner, he seems cool. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and we'll just see what the hell happens, rather than being like, hey, man, could you pay for my meat? Like, that's just too weak, and it just doesn't work.
Tom, I think we probably had this conversation 3 or 4 years ago, and I have it with a lot of people that, same thing. I send stuff out, or we just say, like, yeah, man, like, we'll support you if you support us. And like Mark said, you took the first step in supporting them, and then who knows where it goes, right? What if fucking Ralph Lauren buys Caffeine and Kilos, and you're the first Ralph Lauren fucking powerlifter? You just never know what may happen, good or bad. Chances of it going nuts is less.
Yeah, exactly.
But what does it hurt?
Yeah, right. No, yeah, I liked it because it reminded me of my last name. You know what I mean? I fucking ran with it, and then the company got bigger because I'm like, oh, this is CrossFit. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Because everybody talks shit about CrossFit. I'm like, if it gets some fucking guy off the fucking couch, awesome, dude. I don't give a shit if you're doing something wrong.
Fat people. Something. The Midwest is fat.
We're fatter than corn fed, dude. That's what we are. But I mean, I just fucking ran with it, and then now. Look at me. I'm an idiot, but look at me. You know what I mean?
Mama, we made
it. Mama, we made it. I'm getting California right now, believe it or not.
Hey, Mom, I'm on the Mark Bell PowerCast. I'm sponsored by Caffeine Kilos. Can you believe it?
Yeah, so I mean, I couldn't be more blessed to be with these guys, to be with you guys. I mean, it's awesome. And like, same thing when I started with you. Here's a singlet, here's some wraps.
Right.
What was I doing before it? I was wearing your fucking wraps before it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, now all of a sudden I'm gonna throw my wraps away that I was using and grab Mark's.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna use your same shit, and I've used it before, and I liked it.
Now you're hammered drunk on our podcast.
Yeah. Now he's gonna tell us how much he loves us. I love you guys, man.
No,
you guys
I'm
are the best.
not that kind of alcoholic.
Come on.
All right, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. You kind of look like the Macho Man right now. A little bit.
Yeah.
That's what me and Tom Finn do for Halloween. Or sometimes when it's not Halloween, we'll dress up as Macho Man Randy Savage, and then he's the Ultimate Warrior.
You guys ever wrestle each other?
No, that's not our style.
You scared, huh?
Gets to be a little homosexual.
Gets too gay too quick.
You're worried that you'll be excited.
Sometimes we'll just run with it, man. We're not going to wrestle. We're just going to lift.
When he does some of that shit, are you ever just kind of thinking like this is just like like he's on the fucking rollerblades and he like comes out to the bench or
sometimes like dude, this is too much.
Yeah, it's just like too big of a setup and too much.
That's why like dude, like
you're trying to train, right? Like sometimes.
And he's like trying to do like these crazy shit, walking around with barbells on his back, doing the Stairmaster. I'm like, dude, why don't you fucking pump the
that
brakes,
might have been
man?
one of my favorite because it was so impressive.
That was pretty.
The
fucking
Stairmasters, it's so hard to begin with.
225 on a Stairmaster. That was funnier than hell.
Those are so hard to do with no weight.
But the thing is, like, people think
like
that he just walks in the gym and starts doing the stupid shit. No, we'll work out. Then, like, what stupid things can we do afterwards to fuck around? You know what I mean? And he's really good at thinking about stupid shit. So, that's how he got his following. So, rock and roll. And he's strong. So, that helps.
He is strong.
All right, Mr. Kallas. Well, we hope to see you hit that world record soon, hopefully under the tutelage of my boy, Silent Mike. Hopefully you
Hopefully.
don't throw out his programming or light it on fire the first time you see
be
it.
a lot of
There's,
arguing,
like,
a lot of
more,
back and
more
forth.
than one rep and more than one set in there.
I'm not too good at listening.
Most of your other training was just one big set usually? One top set?
Kind of, because I kind of train the deadlift the same I do the squat, one top set based off percentages that basically I got from Ernie Sr. And then my bench, I trained for my buddy Jaron Rutledge, trained my bench, which actually
He's pretty strong too, yeah.
he was a fucking monster. My bench is like 600 at he's a 308
Yeah.
but he's a fucking monster.
Big bench.
Football stud, was a wrestler. He trained my bench. And I didn't do a lot of benching in the offseason. I do like a lot of dumbbells, a lot of bodybuilding work just to build up my chest. Because like I said, Derek said you got a small chest, so I just try to build it up with a lot of. Yeah, I did a lot of more bodybuilding shit. So it's like he had to start from scratch again, and he got my bench to back where it was at the prime, in 12 weeks, which is awesome. So that's the only thing I do different with the bench. Deadlift, squat, it's always I'm gonna do 85%, 87, 91, 93, whatever it is, and then do singles. So, but that's gonna have to probably be a little different now.
So it's mainly just like, I guess you'd say like one or two big sets. You got like your last warm up.
Last one,
might
yeah.
be something kind of
So basically,
heavy.
it's almost like you train in your first attempt, your second attempt, your
Oh,
third
yeah.
attempt. You know what I mean? You're doing your
Okay.
warm up. Say it's 650.
So you might even
700,
have about 3
740.
sets or so. that
Yeah,
are
so it's
fairly
like
heavy.
fairly heavy, or a
Gotcha.
decent percentage of whatever I'm doing that day.
Right.
So I mean, it makes sense, but at certain points, sometimes they don't work for me anymore.
Right.
So you got to mix it up a little bit, which we're gonna try that. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Fuck yeah. And then you said you probably won't compete maybe until even after the summer, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, it just depends, with work and shit like that. I'd like to do something in April, because I'm, I still feel pretty good. See what Mike wants to do.
There might be one out here in March.
Maybe. We'll see. I got work stuff coming up in March, so we'll see either March or maybe early summer.
There's
Be
early
nice to get
June
a
out
meet
here
in.
too, maybe.
Maybe.
You
So
gotta do something, buddy.
I believe in
Yeah.
you.
we'll see. I'm pretty amped to get back on the stage though, or not stage.
Yeah.
Not bodybuilding. Get back into a meet again,
Not
just
that
in a
well,
different training, which would be nice.
It was pretty crazy to see you. In the meet, you missed the squat on the second attempt, and then you came back on your third, and you just fucking went after it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, that guy's got some balls.
Yeah, because I was fuck. This is make it or break it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
you just dove down there fucking super
Yeah.
fast. I was like, oh my.
That's
god.
how I usually squat too. I
Yeah.
usually, because a lot of people, they don't like the wraps tight. I like them fucking cranked on
Yeah,
as
my
hard
hand was
as I
cramped.
can.
I only had to do
Yeah.
one leg for one thing because Robot got too tired. My hand was fucked up.
Yeah, no, I like them cranked because my thing is, if you can hit them harder, and you can keep your form right,
I get a
you're
little-
gonna get the most out of the wraps, and that's how you have to. If you know the wrap,
Yeah.
that's how you're gonna do it. That's how you have to hit the red wraps. If you're gonna wrap them tight, if you don't
Yeah.
hit them, you're gonna bind up, and you're just gonna go down.
Yeah. Not even
And
hit
you're like,
depth.
fuck this sucks. Like these things are too tight.
You kinda
They're not
slam
too
into
tight.
'em, yeah.
Yeah, you have to slam into them, dude.
Yeah, get that.
Usually,
rebound.
I try to speed up the second half of my descent into the wraps,
Right.
and that what usually puts me out of the wraps the hardest.
Yeah.
So if you know how to hit them, they're a good wrap. But if you don't know how to use the red wraps, you're gonna fucking hate them. You know what I mean? But you got to learn the wrap, and you got to learn. A lot of people, they wrap almost too much, or they bunch up behind the knee. They put too much behind the kneecap itself, and they're like, these wraps suck.
Right.
Well, is it the wrap, or is it how you wrap and how you hit them?
Yeah.
You got to learn your wrap. That's why I'll never just throw on the wraps and do a heavy set. It takes me 12 weeks to relearn the wraps.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I get out of them for a while, because I got to train in them. And I always tell everybody, you can't use the same wraps after like 4 months if you're
Right.
squatting them all the
Yeah, they're
time.
gonna wear out.
Eventually, it's going to wear out. It's just you can't. It doesn't matter what wrap you use. It's going to wear out.
Yeah, you could use it for some
So,
training, but
Yeah,
maybe not
but,
in the meet.
No,
might
not
be
in the
best
meet.
thing.
So every 3-4 months, I'll text Mike to send me a new pair of wraps because.
I ignore it and then just figure out and send him some.
So I'll just get usually a new pair of wraps every training cycle. If you want to get the most out of them, that's what you have to do. And a lot of people, they think the red ones are way too stiff. But what I do is I'll wrap them around like a steel beam, a
Right.
circular beam one way for like 3 days and the other way for 3 days, and they're fucking perfect.
Yeah, you got to
And
stretch them out a little bit
yeah.
before you.
Yeah, and then I'll get 6 training
Before you-
six training squat days out of them and go compete, and they're usually perfect.
You got to
Look
get
at
them
that.
broken in a
Inside
little bit.
tips.
Yeah, a little Tommy tip.
Oh, tip of the thumb.
Where can people find you at?
On Instagram, TomKale1, the number 1, because I'm number 1. And that's pretty much about it. I do a little YouTube here and there, but not too much. Basically just Instagram.
Maybe we'll change that too.
Oh, man. things are looking up for me.
Oh, YouTube coach you.
Do a little bit on YouTube, and then Facebook. Just leave me alone on Facebook. Man, I got so many fucking friend requests. You can only have 5,000 friends, and I keep getting these friend requests. I'm like, I can't add you. I don't know what the fuck to do.
You're so popular, you can't even add you.
Yeah, that's a real big problem. But yeah, just pretty much TomKale1 on Instagram. If you want to find me and watch me try to squat.
Juju on that beat.
And that too. If you
Yeah,
really
that was a
wanna
good
watch.
dance. I liked it.
I'm surprised. Mike didn't even comment. That's
Good to have you on the show today. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell on Instagram and Twitter. Multiply your hustle, multiply your muscle, and may all your shits be tapered. Later.
Shout out to our sponsors, 8Man Strong Apparel at 8Man Strong, bodybuilding.com for all your supplement needs, CompexUSA.com for cutting edge muscle stim machines. Increase your bench press at howmuchyourbench.net. Power the Strength Magazine, available in digital and print on Silent Mike, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere.
And one more sponsor to slide in here, Compex USA. Head over to CompexUSA.com. Use the code PowerCast. Get 28% off of everything but the lowest price model of muscle stim units. I'm the Jim McD. Everywhere that I'd want you to find me, follow the show on Instagram. We are at Mark Bell's PowerCast. We'll see you back next week with Steve Gentili and T. Papula.